Here we go. So let's get started. A number of updates. And first, before we get into too much, I want to welcome Randolph back. Randolph was off for a couple of months on paternity leave, enjoying time with his young one. And we're so grateful to have him back and well rested and raring to go for another year of track events. So welcome back, Randolph. And with that, I'm actually going to turn to you to start us off today with updates on the cross country and indoor season.
Sounds good. Perfect. Thanks, Paul. So for cross country, some generic things, updates that you've probably already seen online, but if you haven't, I'll just outline them now. So our entry deadline is coming up this coming Monday at midnight, and then any of the late deadlines will be accepted until Thursday at 10 a.m. For clubs that are arriving early to Kingston, the bibs will be available to be picked up on Saturday from 12 to 3 p.m. Clubs can allow a club representative to pick up the entire package for their club and hand them out as they please. We would recommend that clubs do pick them up on Saturday just to avoid the rush on Sunday. For any of the clubs or athletes that are coming in on Sunday, they will be available all day. And the bib pickup will actually be up on top of the hill this year, just closer to the action. That way everyone is where they need to be and doesn't have to go back up and down the hill to get items. Just to mention about parking at Fort Henry, we do highly recommend that people park at the parking lot by the fort. I know last year a lot of cars did park on the road leading up to the parking lot. We don't know whether or not parking enforcement will be out there, but if they are, that road leading up there is a no parking zone. So just a reminder to all clubs to ensure that they're being mindful of that when they arrive to the championships 2 weekends from now.
So Randolph, on that parking, I know I was there last year and many years. That lot at Fort Henry does get filled completely. So is there a overflow parking area that the LOC can direct people to? Because I think that's part of the challenge, is that there's just nowhere to go.
So I know last year we didn't have the parking lot restricted to us. We do have it part of as our rental this year. I don't have info on overflow parking, so I can get back to the group and post something on the website once I get back from our meet director Clive with additional information on overflow. I know we did discuss that last year, as there's the military base or like military parking near the bottom of the hill. But we didn't have access to that last year. So I can double check to see if that would be available this year for any overflow parking. Okay, so moving on for Masters declarations, so I guess just start off with team scoring. With the exception of Masters, there's no need for declaration for team scoring. So it's just the first 4 athletes from a club through the finish line that gets scored for their team scores. For Masters, they do have to declare their teams. So I posted the link in the chat here, and I believe the chat is on the championship page. If not, then I'll make sure it's on there. But Masters teams will have to declare there. Just a little bit of a breakdown for the M60 to 69 category and the teams below. You can have up to 4 athletes, and the top 3 will score. For women's teams 40 to 49 and below that, you can have 4 athletes, up to 4 athletes with 3 of them scoring. And for the age groups above that, it's a maximum of 3 athletes with the top 2 athletes scoring. So Scott had a question about the entry deadline dates. So it is on the page there and on the Tracky page, but it is Monday. The regular deadlines is coming Monday, November 7th, and then the late deadlines November 10th. There was an error on the technical package that had the regular and the late deadline incorrect there, but that has since been updated. So everything should reflect the Monday, November 7th regular entry deadline at 11:59 p.m. And then the late deadline, as mentioned, November 10th at 10 a.m. just remember, it's 10 a.m., not 10 p.m. I still get some concerns that some people think it's 10 p.m. It's going to be consistent throughout all our championships. It's always the 10 a.m. deadline. So that covers cross country. Are there any specific questions about cross country before I move on? Nope. Okay, so moving on, the next item I have is the indoor championships. So we have posted the dates for all our indoor championships on our event calendar. So you can find that here in the chat. New to this year is we are hosting the U16 dual meet. It's coming back to Toronto this year. And the Canadian Masters Championships will be held in Toronto as well. So the U16 dual meet will be held on February 11th, which is the same weekend as the U18 Open Championships. And then the Canadian Masters Championships will be on February 25th to 26th. With that weekend, that pushes the Ontario Provincial Masters Championships up earlier. So that'll take place on February 5th, which would have been the normal Winter Mini Meet 3. So we will not have Winter Mini Meet 3. It will now be the Ontario Masters Provincial Championships. Info for the U16 dual meet. That information will be posted on the website. But for now, I can just let you guys know that the declaration deadline for that will be January 30th. So that means that January 28th, 29th weekend, there is the combined events championships for the U16, U18, U20 Open. That weekend will also be a last chance meet for any U16 athletes that are looking to get performances in to be selected for the U16 dual meet. So we'll have the full slate of event offerings for the U16 age category. The event will be an open all comers, so athletes from all the ages can participate, but the focus will be U16 distances. Outside of that, Brandon or Angela, do you have anything else to add for the U16, or we'll just wait for that info to get up there?
Nothing to add there, Randolph. I think you've touched the high level stuff pretty well. So the details will be up, if they're not already, very soon on the website to see what you need to do for the dual meet.
Perfect. Okay, so that is all from my side. So Paul, I'll turn it back to you.
Great. Thanks, Randolph. Any questions for Randolph with related to events? No? All good? Okay, great. Angela, do you want to give an update on high performance?
Yeah, so we have a few things happening in short order. So, well, first of all, happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you're all having a good week thus far. And the weather in the GTA is looking amazing. So very, very happy to see some sunshine. So moving on, we have our Throw Summit coming up this weekend. Is the the Ontario version. So this is online. Just in case if there was any confusion, anybody that signs up for the online offering is going to get both. You're going to get this weekend, the 5th, and the next weekend offering in BC. So if you sign up for the online version, you will get the live version from us this weekend, and that's happening November 5th. And you will also have access to the recordings from the BC version, which is happening next weekend. So again, that's a kind of a scream of a deal in terms of being able to get things. All throws are going to be covered. We have an amazing, amazing lineup of speakers. We're going to be covering self-therapy for throwers. We're going to be covering how to kind of program for the power, speed, strength for throwers. There's going to be a lot of concepts between the two weekends that are going to be a wealth of knowledge. We're also going to be able to highlight one of our standouts from this year, Cameron Rogers. She's going to be presenting at the BC option, which again, if you sign up for the online version, you will have access to the video recordings from that. So again, in the chat, there should be the registration link for the Throw Summit. Please, if you haven't signed up, if you have anybody in your club that's interested, it's great for all ages. It's going to be just a wealth of knowledge from an amazing. We also have Kara Winger. So we have some international people coming up to the BC version of our throws summit. Again, it's going to be a great offering. So I do encourage anybody that's even slightly interested at all, please send that along to any of your club members, be it coaches, be it athletes who might be interested in getting some more knowledge for the Throw Summit. Later on in December, we will be having our Jump Symposium. That's going to be hosted at the University of Toronto. That registration page has been put up into the chat. Again, it's going to be another great offering, whether you're getting into the jumps or if you're already kind of coaching some would-be high performance jumpers. It's going to be a great offering of education to kind of upscale your current knowledge. But I also encourage anybody that has sprinters that might be interested. Sprinters and jumpers go hand in hand. I've had personal experience with that. So this isn't just for, you know, the high jumpers. It's not just for the pole vaulters. We're going to have Jeremy Fisher here coming up from the Olympic Training Center down in San Diego, who has coached several Olympians. He's been a mainstay on the jump scene for the horizontal jumps. So I highly encourage, even for sprinters, anybody who's coaching a sprinter, please sign up for that. It's going to be a great weekend. Again, it's a great opportunity to network and build connections so that you can deepen your knowledge in the jumps area. But a lot of these concepts, we're going to have sports psychology covered, just kind of programming. I think it's going to help not just the jumpers, but also sprinters who might want to jump into the jumps, so to speak. So again, both of those registration links are up in the chat. We're really excited to be putting those two educational opportunities on. Last but not least, we also, concerning cross country, have Team Ontario. So the athlete selection criteria is on the website. And Brendan, thank you very much for putting that into the chat. So please take a look. That's an opportunity for our Ontario athletes to represent us at the National Cross Country Championships coming up in Ottawa. So we're really hoping that people are excited to have an opportunity to represent Team Ontario. All that information on how athletes can be selected or be eligible for selection for that team and the benefits and so on and so forth are in that selection criteria. So please take a look at that, send that off to your membership for your clubs. And we hope to see a lot of great performances this upcoming weekend, on November 13th at the provincials. Brendan, did I miss anything?
Nailed it. Thanks, Angela.
Thank you, everybody.
Great, thanks. Thanks, Angela. Any questions for Angela with respect to what she's already mentioned or anything around high performance? Okay, great. Thank you. Next up, why don't we jump over to the road and trails, Cheryl?
Sure thing. Hi, guys. Just a couple of updates. Our Race Director Summit, which is geared towards our road and trail race directors, but really only very relevant to anybody who's ever putting on an event. That is set for January 21st. Registration is going to be opening next Monday, and we've nailed some really awesome speakers this year. We have Dick Beardsley coming, and we have Bart Yasso, who will be chiming in virtually. And also one of our kind of like top race directors down in the States, Matt West, who's sort of related to the Boston Marathon, but puts on a multiple events. So we have some really great talent coming this year. So I'm really looking forward to that. So earmark your calendars, January 21st, Saturday, and it'll be up at Centennial College, but we will be hybrid virtual in person. So if you can't make it in person and you can chime in, even just for those keynote speakers, they're going to be amazing. And yeah, this past weekend, we put on our inaugural Trillium Running Festival up in Uxbridge, which ironically is where the close by where the cross country OFSA is going to be this coming weekend. But it was a great success. We had, I think, over 90 participants, and we raised $2,000 for the Rotary Club of Uxbridge Tornado Relief Fund. They got hit really bad by the tornado this past year. So we were really excited to hold that. We will be doing it every year. It was a bit of a last minute event that we did this year, but we will be doing it around the same time, very likely in the same place. It was an awesome course, challenging for sure. There's about 500 feet of elevation gain over 4.7 kilometers. So it was a good challenge, but we had everybody of all ages there, people walking, people running, and really just celebrating running. So looking forward to hosting that again next year. And then I think that's probably all that's really relevant to those on the call, but reach out anytime.
Thanks, Cheryl. Any questions for Cheryl? All right, thank you. Saheed, coaching update.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Yeah, so here we are 2.5 years later, getting through COVID. Being able to partner with Western Ontario to host all of the club coach courses for jumps, sprint, hurdles, endurance, and throws. And those registrations have been coming in slowly but surely. I'll put that in the chat. So if there's anybody on here or any coaches that any of the clubs that are interested in getting some of that sports specific training underneath their belt, I'd recommend checking those out. And it's open to officials, athletes, parents, etc. So it's open to all. And as a reminder, any Ontario residents that register for that training, they're eligible to apply for 75% back through the CAO enhancement bursary, which brings down the cost of the registration quite a bit. So that's the main update and the only update that I have today, Paul.
Great, thanks, Saheed. So folks, anybody out there who's looking for coaching courses, these will fill up fast. As Saheed mentioned, for the last 2 years, we weren't able to have any significant in-person classes around this, but we did have I believe it was over 200 people went through the fundamentals of coaching education, which is a precursor for the club coach programs. And so there's a large number of coaches that are going to be looking to sign up. So if you or anybody in your clubs are looking to sign up, I'd encourage you to register early, because they can only take, I believe it's about 15 to 20 in each event group.
20, Paul.
20. So these will fill up fast, folks. And so I encourage you. You guys are the ones that are spending your time listening on these town halls and getting the information. Kudos to you. So go back to your groups and help your coaches get registered early, because I don't want to see anybody not getting in if they can. So thank you for that, Saheed. Next up is Anthony. You want to give us an update on some grants?
Okay, thanks, Paul. Yeah, no, I'm sure everyone's done a ton of virtual education over the past couple of years, and the opportunity to do something in person is definitely something to look forward to. So awesome, Saheed. So I'm going to chat a little bit about some upcoming grant opportunities. I'll put in the chat a number that have been brought to our attention recently, and these are kind of a selection of ones that of which many of them there may be opportunities for your club or your community to apply for. So I'll just touch on a couple of the upcoming ones that we have. I do encourage everyone to check out our website, where we do update or we post any other grant opportunities that we do find available. So if there's grants that you are aware of that aren't on our website, we'd appreciate if you share some of that with us as well, and we can make those available to our clubs. The ones that we have coming up, there's one coming up deadline for the Canadian Parks and Recreation Association. So that deadline is coming up November 10th. The applications are open now. And that one is, there's basically 3 tiers of funding available for that, with the focus of this grant being reaching each and every one. So it's speaking to accessibility and diversity inclusion. So the 3 tiers, the three buckets are under $5,000, $5,000 to $25,000, and $25,000 to $50,000. And I believe for some of these applications, you can submit multiple applications. but you may only be able to receive one. But I believe there are no restrictions in terms of the number of applications an organization can submit. So that's Canadian Parks and Recreation Association. The next one coming up is November 14th deadline, Canadian Women in Sport. And it's the Spotlight Grant. So this is for programs that I think they want kind of the expectation of at least 80%. It could be open to anybody, but where there's an intent to have at least 80% girls, women, and gender diverse individuals who typically don't get access or support or funding for programming. And similarly, there's 3 tiers for this fund, for this grant as well. And they're the same structure. So $5,000, $25,000, and $50,000 thresholds. And one thing I don't know yet, and Zahid and I briefly chatted about this, is the deadline. It says it's midnight, November 14th. But so whether that's Sunday night or Monday night, I'll try to get clarification and make that clear on our website. But in the meantime, I'd assume it's going to be like Sunday night, get the deadline in if that's an application you're going to submit. Another one is PHE Canada, so Physical and Health Education Canada. The deadline for that is the end of February 28, 2023. And there's 2 buckets. And this can be for individuals or it can be for groups. So one is $1,000 to $5,000 grant and $5,000 to $20,000 grant. And these are community school focus grants. So it could be connecting with some school in your community, and it could be for either during or before or after school kind of programming. So if any of your clubs are connected with schools, that might be a good grant to consider. And similarly, it's many of these grants are really geared towards equity deserving individuals. So there's a lot of good support out there to support members of our community that don't often have access or support in various areas. And then there's also a few other programs. There's Participation, and that's about keeping individuals active, and it's kind of an incentive. There's prizes there for the community that's most active. And then Kids Sport grants. Those typically are available. I think the intake right now is up until March 2023. These tend to be fairly ongoing, and these are for ultimately $250 individual grants that are that could be used for athletes within your club that want to access the programming that may need some financial assistance. These are up to $250 per child, and must have at least the funding for that can be applied towards program that must be a minimum of 8 weeks in duration. So some financial support for individuals that might be able to use that support. So yep, that's it for me, Paul, on grants. If anyone has any questions, comments.
Thanks, Anthony. Any questions for Anthony on grants, or you may have a membership question? Okay, thanks. Last up, I want to just quickly talk about the upcoming AGM. So we have coming up on October 19th is the officials AGM, and their registration link is available on the AO website. Anthony, maybe you could put that in the chat for me. And then the very next day, on Sunday, October 20th, is the AO AGM. It will be taking place starting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Will run for approximately an hour and a half. And all of the reports are pretty much posted to the website that you can find here. I'll post that right now. There's the link to the website for the AGM information. I will call out that if you're not able to attend, you can send in a proxy. So the proxy form is available on the website. So as a reminder, the voting members of the organization are our clubs, and each club gets a vote based on the size of the organization. And all that information is available in our bylaws. So please sign up for that. We do need a quorum. So it's usually we need about approximately 30 clubs to attend to meet quorum. So please, if you can attend, that would be fantastic. And in addition, as normal, we try and provide a pre-AGM education session. And so this year, in keeping along with our theme of educating clubs, and also in alignment with our focus on safe sport, we've got a session that we'll be delivering from 1 till 2:30 on that day. It's called Developing a Safe Sport Culture. And it's presented by Will Russell, who is a part of the Sport Law and Strategy Group. They do a lot of work in the sports sector with respect to safe sport. And the session will be talking about culture within organizations and clubs, and how safe sport goes beyond just simple policies and procedures, and that culture plays a huge role in this. And this session will help identify the essentials of creating effective organizations with specific focus on creating a safe sport and competitive culture that allow teams to pursue athletic excellence. So it will be a great session, and I highly encourage everybody to sign up for it. There'll be an opportunity. We're looking at about an hour presentation and then a half hour of Q&A. So lots of times for question and answer. And I think that's where the real value comes in. So yes, there'll be a recording afterwards, but the real value will be in able to ask questions and have some dialogue on the day. So please encourage everybody to sign up and register for that. And that's it for today. Lastly, we do have, as a reminder, please make sure in your calendar is the virtual awards gala, which will be on December 6th and 7th, which is a Tuesday, Wednesday evening, looking at about 3 hours each night, 2.5 hours approximately each night. So please put that in your calendars, mark it off, and more information to follow. That's it for us from informational updates. Are there any questions or thoughts that anyone wants to raise? Kathy?
Yeah, my apologies for not asking sooner. Randolph, for the under 16, what's the year cutoff like? So I'm not
2008. So in 2008, athletes should be turning 15 next year. And then anyone that's born after 2008 is also eligible.
Okay. And Angela, the Jump Summit, December 9th to 11th, that's like a Wednesday to Friday. Like, do you know when the virtual session will be and the timing?
Sorry, the Jump Symposium is December 9th is a Friday, so it's Friday, Saturday.
Oh, sorry, December. I'm looking at, sorry.
No worries.
Looking at November.
No worries.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and as of right now, like we're going to have a live stream as well. So if people can't make it in person, we do have the live stream option, our online option. So
okay, sorry, my apologies.
No worries. No
I'm
worries.
in the wrong month.
And that's a good question, Angela. If somebody signs up for the in-person but can't make it there on the Friday, can they get the live stream on the Friday and then go there in person Saturday, Sunday?
Yes, yeah. If you can't make it on the Friday, so Friday, as of right now, what we have is 2 of our classroom presentations. If you can't make it, so we're still ironing out the schedule, but it looks like it's going to be approximately like a 5:45 p.m. check-in time with the presentation starting at 6:30 p.m. as of right now. That's what the schedule is. If anybody can't make it to that, we just send me an email directly and we'll be able to get you sorted with the online live stream for that. And then we can see you on Saturday and Sunday. So many ways we can accommodate for anybody who would like to sign up for that. So if there are any other questions, please don't hesitate to send me an email.
Thanks. Any other questions? Okay, everybody have a wonderful rest of the week. Enjoy this beautiful weather that we're having. We know we do live in Canada and we do know winter is coming, so enjoy this while we can. Take care, everybody. Bye.